kind of get into the agenda for today. You know, I always find that like it's a varying degree of people that come on this call. Some of you probably have a decent idea of what we do. Others of you are like, I have no idea what you guys are doing. It's really hard to like explain and encapsulate it all, which is why we do these webinars in the first place. Allows me to give a little bit more color than maybe just a couple of videos on our homepage or text or whatever. So what I have is I have like a pretty good introduction to who we are, what we do, how we can help, how we can put you guys on the path to potentially becoming full-time artists or photographers and making a sustainable living. Sustainable, what does that even mean? Make a living that you are happy with, that comports to your desires, your ambitions for your business. So I'll play the little video up front, and like I said, does a pretty good job explaining who we are, what we do. And then on the back end of that, I'll probably have some brief remarks. And then my favorite part of these sessions, which is getting into the live Q&A. So we'll give you guys the ability to raise your hands either digitally, and we'll get into how to do that in a minute, either digitally or literally if you have your camera on. And you can ask questions. And it can be about anything that we do or that we offer or pricing or whatever, all of that stuff. But then, equally important, where are you guys in your career? What are you struggling with? What's working? What do you have questions about? Are you in a situation where you've never sold anything before, period, and you want to know what your next step is? Or you had a roaring business prior to the pandemic, killing your online or offline revenue sources, and you're wondering what to do? Or do you have questions about limited editions or commissions or niche selection or branding? Or maybe you're boosting posts on Facebook and Instagram and you got a ton of likes but no sales and you're wondering what's going on there. I talked to quite a few artists and photographers. I run 3 of these weekly, and then I also talk to quite a few of our own customers, usually in Zooms too, on a week in, week out basis. And so I've heard it all. I've seen it all. And, to everyone has a marketing problem. Okay, period, full stop. We'll get into this. Pretty good at digital marketing, been doing that a long time, especially as it pertains to selling art and photography, which gives me a unique skill set in that capacity. And you pair that with the fact that we have 4,800, 4,900, somewhere around there, customers now, and I get to see all of their data. So I look at the ones that are doing incredibly well. I look at what traffic sources are working for them, what marketing they're using that's working. And so I think those two things combined give me a pretty unique insight into what's working right now, what you need to worry about, what you don't need to be worried about, which is equally important. So I really, really love the question and answer session after the fact. So, okay, we'll get into the video. The chat box will be active for the whole thing. So if you've got questions, something that you want to ask whilst the video is playing, feel free to fire them in there. I'll get them. If you're watching on the socials, on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, you can certainly leave me comments there, and I will answer those as well. And then I will see you guys on the other side. Go ahead and play the video, April. This is the homepage I'm talking about that we just recently redid, and I think it does a really good job articulating sort of who we are, what we do at a very high level. And if you scroll down the page, there's a bunch of videos and me explaining a whole bunch of things, everything that we do from top to bottom. But our tagline, which states everything that you need to start, run, and grow a successful art business, really does sum up what we do. We get pigeonholed as they're a website company. And yes, we do offer websites, but it is a tiny, tiny portion of what we do. Ultimately, we learned a couple of years ago, the hard way, by the way, if we are going to grow and be successful as a business, art storefronts, that is 100% dependent, surprise this one, but on how successful our customers are, on how much art and photography our customers are selling on a yearly basis. And so when you look at that as the problem that we're solving, it becomes so much more than a website, because a website is not enough. But still, we're going to talk about the website. I'm going to get into the other layers as we go down. So it does indeed all start with the website. I will pull one up because it'll make it more interactive. And, anyone that's been attempting to sell art or photography for any period of time, I'll use Bono today, they know one thing conclusively: selling art in an e-commerce capacity digitally online is not like selling other items. It's not like selling swim fins or ladies' handbags or electric scooters or bicycles or anything else, right? buying art, okay, and buying art online is A, an extremely visual process, and B, an extremely friction filled process. And what do I mean by friction? I mean, friction is all of the various different things, okay, that will prevent a visitor to your website from turning into a buyer, okay? And so, really, everything that we do with our software is attempt to solve for this friction, okay? To solve for the friction, to solve for how important the visual aspects are towards selling art and photography online. And, it's never any one feature, it's all of the features working together. It can be little things like when you select a media type, which is canvas, it changes to a canvas, a gallery wrapped canvas. Most people don't even know what a canvas is. And so we've developed special videos that show the differences, the nuances in the real world, what an actual canvas print looks like, what's going to show up at their house, what are the high points of this one, is canvas different than metal. Oops, I missed a click on that. And so you can see what a metal print looks like and how it's sitting flat, eventually how it's hanging up, all the nuances, the intricacies, because it is such a visual process buying art. We have a feature called the wall preview, which allows you to cycle through various different room types. Again, such a visual process buying art. Not only can you circle through the different room types, and yes, you can add your own room type images in. We use some generic ones by design, and you can size pieces up and down, see what it's going to look like. Do I need a 36 by 49? Is that too big? Do I instead want a 28 by 38? We're making it easier for your potential customer to get to a buying decision. What if they want to, their walls aren't white, right? What if they're this ugly color? Or there's something a little bit darker. Is the piece going to look good with this color, right? Because again, buying art is just such an incredibly visual process. Another feature that everybody likes to talk about that we get a lot of plaudits for is we have this feature. Excuse me, mute that. Called Live Preview with AR. Okay, and what this is this allows somebody to come to your website with their telephone, can be iPhone or Android. You can see the phones here on the right hand side, and without downloading any apps, they can just use their phone, their camera, and press one button on your website that says Live Preview. And what this is going to do, it's going to take the camera on their phone, okay, which is going to show the real room, the real wall, where the art will potentially go. And then it takes your piece in augmented reality and it projects it onto the wall. And you're able to move it around with your finger. You're able to size it up, size it down, take screenshots. And so is it going to look great in the room? What size do I need to get, right? And so, again, this is attempting to solve for the visual friction of, I don't know if it's going to work in my room. I don't know what it's going to look like, right? It's just getting them one step closer to a buying decision, removing the friction from the process. And, I've been doing e-commerce marketing, digital marketing my entire life. Everyone loves to gravitate towards the wall preview or the live preview with AR. But the reality is when you do this for any period of time, it's not about one individual feature. It's about all the features working in conjunction, and you never know which one's going to end up, if we think of a sports analogy like a basketball team, it's how many players you have on the court that can contribute, right, to eventually scoring that basket. And so it's why we do the demo process. We have literally hundreds and hundreds of features, all to remove the friction, all to help you get better at selling art and photography online. And when you request one of these things, our outreach team will reach out, have a conversation with you, and schedule it. It goes like an hour and 10 minutes, and we just go through feature after feature after feature. So it's not about any one of them. It's about all of them working in conjunction. Independent of that, let's keep working down the page. So we also have a ton of back-end software. It turns out running an art photography business, there's a ton of individual little nuance and things that can slow you down, okay? Things like uploading an image and how many images do you have to upload to your webpage for all the various different media sizes and types you have. It's very helpful to be able to just upload one, have all the sizes auto-populate for you, and tell you exactly what you can sell. Things like markups. How do you set markups? Can you do it globally? Can you do it per media type, right? And so no one likes to talk about the back-end features, but we have a slew of those as well, all there to make your life easier, to give you time back, okay? Let's talk about our fulfillment. And we love talking about this. This is in our company DNA pretty significantly, but I'll pull up a website. So we're on Bill Stidham's site. Or I should probably start here, actually. So we are integrated. Well, let me start here. You can have it any which way you like. If you're an artist that just does originals and you get orders, obviously you're going to be responsible for fulfilling the originals because you have them. If you're an artist that has a local printer or a photographer that has a local printer, you really like using your printer, You can use your printer. The orders come in, you send the order to your printer. We call that self-fulfillment, no problem. What we recommend our customers do, though, is integrate with one of our print partners, and I'll get into the reasons why. But we've got Graphic Dimensions on the East Coast. We've got Bay Photo on the West Coast. We've got Print Partner for our customers in Canada. And then we just recently integrated with a company called Guten that handles the merchandise, and I'll get into that in a second. How does it work? You sign up. You get your site set up, which usually takes 14 days or less. You click a button. It says, I want to integrate with this print partner. An order comes into the website. The printer gets paid. You get paid. The order gets printed. The order gets boxed. Your logo goes on the side of the box. Boom, it ships to the customer. You touch absolutely nothing. There's nothing you have to touch, nothing you have to do. All happens automatically. And again, it's to give you back that amount of time. And, no one has time in today's day and age to be dealing with the admin, okay? Any time that you spend on the admin, by which I mean sending the order to your local printer, checking on the proof, sending tracking numbers, did it ship, any of that correspondence, all of that, if you're spending your time on that, is time you are not spending on your biggest problem, which is your marketing. So we really believe streamlining sort of this drop shipping, print on demand, automated fulfillment is a very, very wise decision if you want to create successful artists and photographers. Now, just recently, this was probably like a month before Christmas maybe, we integrated with a company called Guten. And what it allows our customers to do is sell merchandise of a myriad of different kinds. Hoodies, iPhone cases, tank tops. They can come in, adjust the image exactly how they want to see it. Maybe they want to tilt it depending on what case it is, and get iPhone cases and a number of different other items. We've got throw pillows and I clicked out of it, and coffee mugs, and we're adding more and more and more and more of these. And on the subject of merch, we realize, again, if you go back to our original mission, why we exist, we need to create a set of circumstances, a set of conditions such that the artist, the photographer can make and grow as successful a business as they want. And so some artists look at this merch and they're like, they turn their noses up at it, like, that's not fine art. Why would I ever want to do that? Some are like, I'm all in, I love it. We don't care. Our job is to provide as many different opportunities for artists and photographers to be successful as possible. And we've been totally blown away by how much of this stuff actually, believe it or not, sells. And some of it is higher margin than you would think. Like a throw pillow is $44, and what does a tote bag cost? I think a tote bag costs $38. So sell it or not, you have every opportunity imaginable available to you. If you want to have it all, in kind of like Bill does here on his site, where you have your fine art media types across the top, and then you have the merch all in one product page, great. If you want to have individual items in the store, you want to have your artwork, fine, and then you just want to have a line of phone cases. If you want to have one for a couple of weeks and then turn it off, you can do any and all of that, and it's one click to turn it on at any point in time. It's automated. It's completely automated in terms of fulfillment, and that's not going to change. And we realize, again, like, artists and photographers are essentially just creators, right? You're just creators, and you have a talent. You have a talent with a brush, or you have a talent with the lens. You want to monetize that talent, okay? So again, our job is to give you as many different opportunities to be able to monetize that talent as possible. So that's how we go about it. And again, it's a debate about when to use it or when not. But somebody on one of these sessions earlier was like, who's the greatest rock band of all time? I was like, no, who? He's like, the Rolling Stones. He goes, guess what the Rolling Stones have at their concerts? I said, what? A giant booth for merch. He's like, they sell hundreds of thousands of dollars of it a year. If the Stones sell it, I'll sell it. So anyway, I thought that kind of stuck with me. It was fun. So that's our print fulfillment. And I should say, too, that we're adding calendars, and we're adding puzzles, and we are adding photo books. And to be honest with you, if they come out with a line of hot air balloons, we'll add hot air balloons too, right? Because again, it's creating a set of circumstances such that the artist and photographer can be successful. We don't care where the success comes from. I don't care if Brian gets into business and he's the number one iPhone selling case guy of the entire United States. He's got a successful business, right? So not for us to decide. Support. We believe we have best-in-class support. If you took a look at our Facebook ads and you scrolled through the 350 of them, you'll see more positive responses for the support than just about anything else. We're very, very good at this. Yes, it's in all the venues you think it is, email, phone, chat support. But in addition to that, kind of what I'm most proud about is we run 6 days a week, including Saturdays, Zoom sessions, just like the one you're on right now, okay? And you can pop into one at any point in time with any support-related issue and get fixed, get unstuck. There's screen shares. They can take over control of your computer and just get you sorted instantaneously. So we're very, very good at it. Not only do we support our application, we ask you guys, we teach you guys marketing all year long, which I'll get into in a second. What if you're having a problem with Facebook or with Instagram or with MailChimp or with your Facebook ads? We actually support that too. You can pop into a Zoom session and say, hey, Patrick, I'm stuck on my Facebook ads. I'm getting this message. Can you help me? And our team will get you unstuck. That's an amazing thing. There's not many companies that do that, so I'm very, very proud about that. That's in terms of the overall website picture. And we essentially do all of that, okay, to give you your time back such that you can work on the biggest problem that every single solitary person on this Zoom call has, which is their marketing problem. You need to get better at it. And let me tell you, I've got 4,700 customers, and there's only one universal truth about every one of them, right? Every niche imaginable, every subject matter, all over this country and others. Every one of them has a marketing problem. The person that just passed $500,000 a year in sales has a marketing problem. They want to grow that business, they have a marketing problem. The person that just is getting started, sold their first piece, they have a marketing problem, and everybody in between, right? It is the biggest problem. And so, we want to create successful customers. We realize we need to teach artists and photographers how to market. And so how did we solve for that particular problem? We created collectively what might as well be called the Art Business University. That's how we look at it, because I'm not sure there's a better term to explain it. One, we have the best digital education that exists in terms of selling art and photography online, full stop. I'm hang my hat on this. We have detailed documentation that we call playbooks on every marketing facet imaginable. How to run an email campaign, how to run a Black Friday sale, how to go live on Instagram, how to go live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time, how to go live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time with your laptop on a cell phone. Detailed, step-by-step, audio, video, screenshot documentation. If we're asking you to send emails, we will give you the email copy. You just adjust it to taste for what you're doing. So the playbooks are incredible. They're very robust, and they're very focused on teaching you how to market. We pair that with a 365-day-a-year marketing calendar, okay? It has on it beginner, intermediate, and advanced. You take on what you can take on. You're never not knowing what you need to be doing on a week-in, week-out basis. You start doing, first, you're overwhelmed. You're like, I've never done this. This is crazy. How am I going to survive? And then you fight through it, and you got through the beginner level. And then you take on the intermediate, and then you take on the advanced. The majority of our customers follow this doggone near verbatim year in, year out, because it works. It's effective. Not only does it tell you what to do, but it solves for one of the other greatest pandemic of our lifetime, the shiny object syndrome, okay? Not only does the calendar tell you what to do, it tells you what not to do, okay? What not to be spending your time on, right? And how do I know this? One, I'm very good at digital marketing. Two, we have 4,700 customers, and I get to see all of their data. I can tell everyone on this call conclusively, out of the 4,700 customers that I have not seen anyone turn a positive ROI at marketing on Pinterest. No one is making any money from marketing on Pinterest. So I'm going to tell you, you don't have to worry about Pinterest. I see you laughing, Mary. I do not want you spending any time on Pinterest, period. Waste of time. So too with SEO, okay? So the calendar is equally powerful on what you need to focus on is what you ignore, okay? It's what you ignore, and that's a big deal. Number 3 of the Art Business University is what we call office hours, okay? We take the entire customer base, we split it into 3. Until you sell $2,000 directly on your website, you're in the traction group. And after you sold $2,000 on your website, you're in the ramping group. After you sold a much higher revenue threshold that we don't publish, you get in the advanced group, which we call growth. We hold week in, week out, every single solitary week, and we took 1 week off for New Year's, but essentially 48, 49 weeks a year. Zoom calls like this. You come on a weekly basis. It's either me or members of my team. We go over the playbooks. We go over the calendars. We talk about wins. Somebody landed an interior decorator and sold $35,000 worth. They're going to come on and tell their story. Not only are they going to come on and tell their story, they're going to say, here's the email that did it. Here's the copy. Here's the Facebook post, and you can go and look at that stuff, right? And you're learning in concert with your peers. Digital online education is not enough, okay? If you look at the stats out there, I don't care who it is, Kajabi or Masterclass or lynda.com, 30% of the people that buy those courses actually finish them. So we can't just have digital education. We have to have in-person teaching sessions, and everyone knows how to Zoom now. It's our new reality. So those sessions, which we started like, I think 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead of the pandemic, have been the single solitary biggest fundamental change to our business we've ever had. If before the pandemic, I had 100 customers and I told those 100 customers via email, guys, Black Friday's coming. You got to get going on your sale. Here's the playbook, right? And then I recorded a podcast episode and I was like, we're going to do this. 35 out of the 100 would take action. After these video sessions where I'm able to go through things, people are able to ask their questions, raise their hands, get unstuck, learn your peers. I have 75 people taking action on that sale, and it's fundamentally changing the business. It is making our customers more successful, more accountable, actually staying focused. Like, look, you guys are all solopreneurs for the most part. I mean, we could pull this entire group, and not a lot of you guys have a big team. You don't have an office behind you where you're yelling at an intern to help you out. You are a solopreneur, okay? You know, myself, the CEO, we've been entrepreneurs our entire life. I know it's a roller coaster. I know there's highs and the lows. When you're on those lows, you need to kick in the pants, right? You need to be lifted up sometimes. And that's what these Zoom sessions do too, which is incredible. We follow it up with a Facebook group that is highly curated. Okay. There's no trolls. There's no nonsense in there, right? You've seen some of the other groups out there online and how ridiculous it gets in those things. And artists are sharing with other artists. Photographers are sharing with other photographers. The people that are in the landscape niche are talking to others in the landscape niche. Hey guys, what do you think of this new direction? What did you use in terms of pricing? They're publishing their wins. And so sometimes you can't just hear it from us, the official company mouthpiece. And so it's nice to have a whole bunch of people that are doing the same journey at the same time, helping each other out, sharing, what are you doing here? What are you doing there? So that collectively is the Art Business University. And it's like a college. It really is. And the difference is you pay your tuition, you come in, and there's no graduates because the learning never stops, right? And, you know, in addition to that, it never will stop. In today's digital marketing landscape, the goalposts are just constantly moving, right? Like so quickly. You feel like you just learned something and it moves over here. So we keep you up to date with all of that. As a final, about 6 months ago, or maybe 5 months ago now, we started an in-house marketing agency. And it's an in-house marketing agency that only does one thing. It helps artists and photographers sell more art online and off. And we believe already, as of today's date, it's the biggest sole-focused art and photography marketing agency in the world. And that's not hyperbole. I've been asking on these calls, can someone name me an agency that specializes only in helping artists and photographers sell their work? I haven't found one. No one's ever put one in the chat for me, especially not a big one. Why? Because my aforementioned point, selling art and photography is not like selling swim fins or ladies' handbags or scooters. It's hard, right? It's really hard. And we're good at it because we've been working at it for a long time. Also, you know, I get upset, right? Because I look at all of you guys as like, you own a McDonald's, right? And if you owned a McDonald's, you have to know how to do the ordering. You have to know how to clean the floors. You have to know how to open the building. You have to know how to operate the drive-through window. You have to be able to flip burgers and fries and do all of that and do the ordering, right? Like it's your business. You need to understand those things. But at the same time, I'm not naive in the sense that 80% of our customers still have full-time jobs or in some capacity. Maybe they're service-based photographers and they're trying to sell their fine art. So I get it. You need to be able to have the ability. If you don't have the time to do the marketing and you have the resources, you need a la carte things that you can jump off the shelf. Hey guys, I need my Instagram profile tuned up. I need my Facebook page tuned up. I need to help with a sales campaign. You need to be able to do that sometimes. In addition to things like we'll completely build your website for you. You don't want to do that. You hate building websites. Your fears in life in order are death, taxes, and building another website. I get that, right? So you can drop your images in a folder. Tell us to build the site. We'll build the site for you, okay? We'll manage your Facebook ads, okay? We will manage all of your social posting. And again, it goes back to the top premise. Like our job is to create successful customers. And so we looked at it 6 months ago and it's like, we need to have an agency. And then some people are like, well, I want to do it myself. Fantastic. Our job is to have the best DIY product, do it yourself, learn, come on the sessions, and then also have an agency where you can pay. And again, it's a la carte or it's, you know, up to almost full service. And the amazing thing about it is, you know, I've been doing marketing a long time, right? What do all marketers love? A case study. Oh, we love a case study, right? With the sexy data about this huge win, and we publish it on social media and we use it for lead generation. So totally did that all the time. Okay. Guilty, you know, and if you lose, you don't publish it, right? You wait till you hit a winner and do all that. But it used to be, I would go and run a case study with a customer and, you know, I'd have limited bandwidth to do that. And then we would build the playbooks. Well, guess what I have now? I've got agency staff. I've got one guy that all he does all day long is spruce up Instagram pages for artists and photographers. He did 65 of them last week, or 65 last month. So imagine the learnings that we're getting. What happens is the learnings are going right back into the playbooks, and then they're coming onto the Zoom sessions and they're teaching, and we've got a little flywheel going on, right? We've got a little artist and photographer education flywheel. So it doesn't matter if you ever order a single solitary service from the agency, and we don't even care if the agency ever makes any money, in all honesty, because all it does is just improves the product, makes more successful customers, and helps us grow. So we really, at the end of the day, are fundamentally a business that can be thought of as a rowboat, right? It takes our oar, your oar, we jump in the boat in the same time, and if we can get that thing rowing in the same direction, the faster we can get that going, the better everybody does. So that's Art Storefronts in a nutshell. That's my presentation. All right, so that's sort of our pre-canned pitch. I hope that did a decent job of kind of explaining who we are, what we do, at a high level. You know, I say it in that video, but I mean, I know it's here true, and I can say it conclusively because it's you guys are no different than just a sample size of our customers, which is every single solitary one of you has a digital marketing problem, especially in today's day and age. You need more attention. You need more eyeballs on your art until you get it. How are you expected to sell it? All of the various other different easy sources, i.e. the fairs and shows, i.e. the galleries, i.e. direct in most capacities, has become extremely difficult to do in today's day and age. And so, you know, ultimately you sum it up in a couple of sentences, what it is that we do. We give you an education on how to actually build a business out of your talent. And, you know, it's a bunch of information that's sadly lacking out there. You know, a lot of people went to college and a lot of people went to art school and they learned a whole lot of cool stuff, none of which was how to make a viable career out of your art, how to make it as a full-time artist, right? How to thrive, build a business, and market an art or photography business. Like, where were those courses 15 years ago? Everyone knows that they didn't exist. Otherwise, you would have taken them, right? Because, I mean, there's nothing more important than that. So it's exciting times that we're living through right now. It's as much bad as there is, i.e., you know, all the offline, in-person show and fair gallery revenue sources are pretty much not what they used to be. You know, we're optimistic they're going to come back at a point. But the good news on the upside of things is, you know, all home decor sales have just pretty much exploded throughout the pandemic. Art, photography, sculpture, crafts have played a large role in that. So it's been a really good time. If you were working on your marketing, if you did have access to attention, you know, you had an email list, you had a social following, you could reach your customers. Excuse me. So it's not all bad. There are some good things with this entire thing. So there's a whole bunch of people on this call today. I want to open it up, get right into the questions. There's a couple different ways that we do that. So one, you can digitally raise your hand, which is the easiest way to do that. And there's a little participants thing at the bottom of the Zoom window. It's like two little guys or two little people avatars. You can do that, and then you can see like Karen. It gives you the ability to raise your hand. You can do what Jane was doing if your camera's on, and I saw your hand raising, Jane. So I'll get to your question in just a sec too. You can leave me questions in the chat. I can answer those. If you feel like you don't want to be on camera, I totally get that. I hate being on camera too, so you can just ask the question via audio if you're so inclined. That's not a problem either. And then if you're on any of the socials, I see those comments as well, and I can address those directly. But let's jump right into it. You're up first, Karen, and then Jane, I'll come to you next. And Karen, what you'll want to do is you'll need to, yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for a really succinct presentation. I really appreciate it. There's a lot of deep dive that I have to do, but two quick questions for you that you might probably just say, look at the videos anyway. One, you know, I've invested quite significantly into building through Wix, a really nice website and the whole bit. Question, how easy is it to migrate? Let's say I choose your platform. How easy is it to migrate across that robust amount of information into your platform and the whole bit? Or is it a complete do-over?
Yeah, I wish there was some sort of magical button and or digital vacuum cleaner that would just suck it out of the one, put it into the other. But sadly, it doesn't work that way. So you would have to start over from scratch. And I know that's like a painful thing to hear because you dumped so much time, energy, and effort into making that one awesome. It's still a massive leg up for you, though, because you have all that stuff articulated and spelled out. You also have the knowledge that it took you to learn all that and build that, which is totally transferable. Our builder is not so different than Wix is. But you could also have our team do it for you, which is an option, right? And, you know, if you request a demo, they walk you through what that looks like. But, you know, most people that have good technical acumen of sort of placing you in that box get the whole thing done in 14 days or less.
Okay,
Like
nice.
you're up quickly and you know, out of the Wix situation. Yeah.
And similarly, you know, obviously there's business Facebook, there's an Instagram,
Yes.
you know, and all that social.
Yes.
Is there a migration point, or is it just really about following that playbook about when to hit those platforms? And
yeah. It's there's some like little, you know, settings here or there that we need to make sure that you have correct, but that's easy. I mean, that's like, you know, an hour in the afternoon and you're done with that. Really what it's how to best leverage them, you know, posting rhythm, what to say in the posts, how to go live, how to have a live art show, how to contemplate ads, like, you know, it's anything and everything all year long on those guys, right? Like, you know, we sadly live in a day and age where they have too much power. They have way too much power, but you have to sort of be contrarian about it. Like they have all the attention. You need the attention. You need those eyeballs on your art. So, you know, we teach on how to do that all year long.
Understood. Well, I'm really looking forward to a demo and really looking at this because, you know, standing on the precipice of wanting to do this full time, this seems like very legit and robust program.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. How have you gone about selling your stuff up till now?
The classic, old school. Through the website, trying to boost certain Instagram posts.
Stop!
A little bit.
Don't do that. No boosting posts. No boosting posts.
Don't shame me publicly, but yeah, you know, we're all doing the same thing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm finding that, you know, everyone's loving it and everyone clicks the heart and walks away, kind of thing. And there's no translation to sales as quickly as I would like to see it. And it's good work, you know, and it's saleable work. But the problem is everyone's like, you love it.
I know.
You know, where is it? Where's the return?
Yeah. So when you the reason there's a whole bunch of different reasons why I say don't ever boost posts, but they know, okay, they have 185,000 data points per Facebook profile. They know who likes, they know who comments, and they know who shares. And guess what those people never do? They never spend any money on anything. So it's like at least once a week I get somebody like, wow, dude, the sheer amount of likes and comments and shares I've gotten on this thing is amazing. And then I say, okay, I'm going to drive to your house right now. Give me your address. I'm going to pick you up, and we're going to go drive down to the ATM machine, and you show me the button on the ATM machine for likes, comments, shares, right? It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm rocking a big goose egg on
I know.
return on investment from those.
Yes.
It's really exciting to see, you know, your social posts, and it makes you feel good, like for like a one hot minute type of thing that people like your shit. But pardon my language, sorry guys. Okay. But at the end of the day, it's not translating to sales. You know.
But that's okay. Step one is we'd break you from your addiction to boosting posts immediately, day one.
From the front.
Yes.
You know, exactly.
And you know, Facebook and Instagram ads can and are incredibly powerful, but not until you're ready to use them and not until you know how to use them correctly. And boosting posts is not that way. So, but that's okay. We'll teach you that. I'll teach you.
Thank you. Okay. Well, my apologies. I'm going to hop off the call, and I'm sorry I can't stay around for other questions because they're valuable, but I'm going to go get your demo and we're going to go talk, and I'm going to see you a lot more in my life.
You will. You'll see me on the inside. Thanks, Karen.
Okay, peace.
Bye. Okay, Jane, I'm going to get you, and then it'll go Brian and then Carolyn. So go ahead, Jane. I'll let you know when you get your mic unmuted. Bottom left-hand corner. Yep, gotcha.
It's muted. Okay, first of all, thanks for a really fabulous presentation.
Oh, you're welcome.
I really like what you have to say. What I'm interested to know is what it costs to buy in, or you know, how do you proceed? I'm interested in cost for myself primarily, but I have two women artist friends that I want to refer to you.
Okay.
And they're interested in cost too.
Yes.
So that's my main question. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. And so, you know, do you have a website currently, out of curiosity, Jane, or no?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So like most website, this is sort of an easier way to think through the, you know, how we charge for things. So, you know, as much as it sounds like a sales pitch or like hyperbole, generally us as a company, Art Storefronts, only makes it if we have successful customers. And what happens is that all artists, they understand going and getting a website, right? And paying whatever the monthly fee is for the website and having their work up there. But what always ends up happening is you have a website that's a pretty portfolio site, or like Karen's case, the Wix site, and it's not selling anything for you, right? It's not really doing anything. And it's actually primarily a function of the fact is no artists ever work on their marketing. They just don't do it. And the ones that do don't ever do it consistently. And so we realized that rather early on. And this is my roundabout way of answering your pricing question. So we charge a monthly website fee, same as everyone else does. But to solve for the marketing problem that every single solitary one of you has, we have to have an army of teachers teaching you guys nonstop how to do that.
Yeah,
and so,
I understand that. I'm not,
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So we charge a one-time fee to essentially get into the Art Business University. It's the easiest way to think of it. And the bottom plan is $1,000 to get in, one-time fee, and then you get the education for life, week in, week out sessions, all that stuff. And then you just pay the monthly website fee, which I think on the low plan is $49 or $39 a month, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Yeah. And again, the key is like,
So you say $39 a month for the to maintain the website or to be part of the
yeah. So for the website fee, and I might be off by a couple of dollars. That's why we do the demo thing. Yeah,
doesn't matter. That's what I need to know, ballpark.
But everyone, everyone usually latches on to like and I think this is just the way the human brain works. Like everyone thinks they have a website problem. You guys don't have website problems. You just have the marketing problem. Our website is
exactly. I mean, I know perfectly well. I suck at marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're already on the path though. Like, right. You know what your biggest problem is, which is huge. Were you doing, how were you selling before? Just out of curiosity, Jane, were you doing shows and fairs or did you have a gallery?
It's just haphazard. Occasionally somebody buys a painting and I sold 2 major paintings last year, but usually I can go periods of time where I sell nothing. So, I mean, it's, I know that, I sit in my house with my treasures.
Yeah. We can.
Yeah. And I know that other artists do too. So,
yes.
So I'm not alone. So I think what you're doing is really cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a painting of mine on a coffee mug. Why not?
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
And like the merch has been such a profound learning for us. Right. And, I would say early on, I was probably even more guilty than my colleagues, kind of like thumbing my nose up at it. Like, this stuff is cheesy, cheap crap. Like, I was the worst, right? The abstraction, the important abstraction though, is that you guys are creators that have a talent. Okay. Our job, Art Storefronts, is to figure out as many ways for you guys to monetize that talent and make a living as possible. And if it's putting stuff on mugs, I'm okay with it, right?
Well, it's actually it's a nice object.
Yeah.
But no, I'm cool with it, and I'm going to join you. I can afford to right now, and I'm going to do it because I want to get the ball rolling before I pass away, and then my family was going to say, what are we going to do with all our shit?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't really think it that way, nor do I, but that's about what it comes down to. And, so I want to launch it so that it moves, and I can pull my niece in to give me a hand, I believe.
Oh, absolutely. And, the tough part is that you have to work on building up a business. But the good news is that like once you get through those first couple of hard years, you actually do have an asset that with a little bit of water can keep going and going and going. So,
exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'll let somebody else take the floor.
Great. Okay, it's going to go Brian and then Carolyn. Go ahead, Brian. I'll let you know when you got it. You got it.
Good. Okay. I've been enjoying your presentations for the last week or so. I've been tuning in quite often, so thanks for all the info. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
I'm still trying to track. I know you guys have had a lot of problems with the weather. I'm still trying to track down Alex Garcia. He's one of your reps.
Oh, he got smoked last week along with the rest of our guys. Oh, it was terrible. Just like literally power went off on like Monday, and I think some of them didn't get it back till like Thursday. It's just like brutal. I'll find out. April, will you let Alex know in Slack that Brian's trying to track him down, and we'll make sure you get a call back. It's just been bananas. Yeah.
Okay. And I know Jane touched on pricing, and I know I don't want to pigeonhole you into anything, but because I get it, but the one-time fee that you quoted as the bottom at 1,000, and that. More than I'm guessing that this doesn't include sort of that ad agency stuff that
the agency is one-off services or fully managed services, and that's obviously not included in the price, but you don't need to ever even use that either, right? Like it's there, and we're building that thing up because we think it's a great idea, but it's not like you have to use it to be successful. Like the sort of the idea is the easiest way to think of the agency is, in a perfect world, I would say that agency should not exist because I want 100% of my customers learning and doing the marketing themselves. One, because I'm selfish and I love marketing, right? And I want you guys all to be great at it. But we kind of had to come to the realization that our customer base is an 80-20. 20% are full-time artists, 80% have jobs, right? And there's those situations where it's like, Patrick, I have this job, and I don't have the time to do this, but I'm willing to invest in the business. And so we had to create products that are just on the shelf that they can just go and grab and get it done. So that's what it's there for. But I'll go ahead. I was just going to say,
I can go through those sort of a la carte with Alex when I speak to him and all that. But but saying to get in at the bottom at 1,000, I'm thinking that there must be other ways of getting in, and that would include you guys building the site, me just giving you all my photos.
Yes, you can totally do that.
Thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the price is going to jump obviously from that 1,000 to, I don't know, you tell me.
Yeah, I would love to tell you. I don't even know. I stay out of it.
Yeah.
I stay out of it. Yeah, the whole reason I stay out of it too, by the way, is like, they're making changes and adjustments and things are going up and new services are being added. And anytime that I say something that's not true, I get screamed at by those guys. So now I'm just like, cool, I'll stay out of it. You guys look, when you request a demo, well, you haven't gotten the call back yet because of the power outage, but it's a 10-minute call. You can ask detailed everything. They know everything. And then if like for any reason it's not working for you, they'll never call again. I promise these guys and gals are not pushy.
Okay. Aside from that, I run an idea by you about how I'm going to become a millionaire through you.
Okay. I love the ambition.
I've been a travel photographer and a photo editor for 30 some odd years. Okay. I have a collection, I would say, of tons of travel photographers who work all the time, do not have any time to market themselves as artists.
Yes.
Am I able to come to you essentially as a curator with a whole bunch of art from different artists and manage that?
Yeah, you totally could. You totally could. I mean, I think, is exploitative, okay, my words, not anyone else's, is exploitative as the gallery relationship is for the artist, right? In which all the artist does is just create. The artist turns the art over to the gallery. The gallery is responsible for all the marketing, bringing the buyers, doing all that. Is exploitative as that is, and I think it's exploitative because the 50-50 split, and more and worse is that the artist doesn't get to know who its buyers are, right, at all. I hate that. That relationship still makes sense in the sense that, for whatever reason, call it God, evolution, whatever, the concentric circles that are marketing and artist brains do not cross over all that much, right? So there's a whole lot of those folks that would love nothing more than someone like you to say, hey, I'll take your best images from here, here, and here, and let me sell them. Here's the revenue reports. Here's the split. You'll get your data. You can even keep the customer data, however you want to do it. Like, yes, there's absolutely a viable way to do that, but it would require you being good at marketing and being focused on it. But, if you had the ability, if you had like 20, 30, 40 different ones and you could go cherry pick their best stuff, like that wouldn't suck. That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. And like a lot of them are just working all the time. They don't have time to do this.
Yeah.
They have the occasional show where they sell. They have people saying, I love this image. Can you send me a print? That's more of a hassle for them, sending the one print, what a pain in the neck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been there too. But
you can handle all that too. Like, all, and I put the photographers squarely in this bucket. Like, someone's convinced you that your job has to be about trading dollars for hours, and it's not, right? You don't need to just be trading dollars for hours. You can, by adding in the robust aspects of the print business, be the print guy. And with today's POD, print on demand, you keep no inventory. All you have to do is be the subject matter expert, have some samples, and be like, what do you want? I'll get it shipped to you. And you don't touch anything. Like, nowhere near enough photographers are taking advantage of that. And it's sort of infuriating at times.
Yeah, and I mean, for the guys I work with, a lot of them, like I said, it's just time. They're busy shooting. They don't have time for this,
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I think if they saw that they were selling well, let's say they give me their best 7 over the sofa type pieces, and they say that looks like they're selling well, I imagine they would just do it themselves and come to you as a client. I would actually be advocating for you guys at that point.
Yeah, well, you'd be getting paid referral fees on that too, so it wouldn't be not worth your time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would hope to make that part of the business, really.
Yeah, absolutely can.
All right. Well,
I like it. Like I said, I like it. In the sense that you're just all of a sudden, instead of just your work, you're now curating like one of the most amazing travel galleries that exists. Full stop. Right? Like it could be
absolutely.
Really cool. Yeah. That could be cool.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thanks. And we'll make sure you get the call back. Okay, Carolyn, you're up next. Go ahead. I'll let you know when you get the mic, bottom left-hand corner. Yep, gotcha.
Yep. No, I do Zoom all the time.
Okay, good.
Okay, I have. Let me just finish putting something in here. There we are. I've been on one of your calls before and gone back and forth. I am a fused glass artist.
Yes.
So you can see one of the pictures behind me. I've taken my own in-room shots because I can't get done I can't show what I need to show. I'm building a website now, WordPress. I've got a web designer because I didn't like, Wix. I've looked at FASO. I've looked at others. I'm very curious about your comparison I saw in the chat to FASO. But where I am is I'm a professional sales and marketing B2B person most of my career. I have left that. I'm doing this full time now, but I have a very short runway.
Okay.
I am working with somebody, a coach already that I signed up for before I heard about you guys. But so I'm in learning mode, and
what is the coach teaching? Just out of curiosity.
Well, he has an online class. This is Artist Marketing Formula, David Emmons. So again, and he, again, he's doing something similar to what you were doing, but it's different.
Yeah, it's quite
different. He and I understand one another very well, but it's, he's got a full online course that he updates, etc. But I really like your focus. I like the idea that you're doing this online marketing agency now. I'm actually going to be taking at a local university. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, a digital marketing class. I figured out how to get somebody else to pay for it.
Awesome.
Because I understand sales and marketing really, really well, B2B, but not the online part of it. I've avoided that. I detest Facebook, but I know how important it is.
Yes.
I've been on LinkedIn since 2005, but for professional reasons.
Yep.
I'm targeting high-end interior designers. So I'm understanding what I'm doing. These tables behind me, I'm going to be selling for like $4,900 minimum. I'm not dealing, lower end doesn't make a business. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's expensive to live here.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's not worth. I've got plenty of people who'd love to buy my stuff. I'm ignoring Etsy. I know glass artists on Artful Home. They're taking 50%. That's insane.
I know. I hate it. I think it's exploitative. Personally.
I mean, I met someone here in the Bay Area, a ceramics artist who's on there because she's been on there since it started. She knew the woman who started Artful Home, and she said they only took 20-25% when the founder ran it.
Yeah.
And then they sold it and whatever, you know.
Yep. And the balance of power is shifted, right? Like you guys, the individual artist is really easy to exploit. And it's happening all over the place. Like, let me ask you this. So you're taking courses about how to run Facebook ads.
Well, I'm going to be taking, I'm already doing folks working with somebody who's focusing on marketing art.
Yeah.
So it's similar to what you're doing, but I want to learn what you guys are doing.
Have you started running the Facebook ads?
I'm not wedded to anybody.
Have you started running the Facebook ads?
No, because I'm still building my website. I couldn't, these shots, I had to take my own shots to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Because my work, and I have professional studio shots of a lot of my work from a local photographer who does photograph. I mean, he's a professional in photographing glass.
Yes.
And he's really good. But that's what I learned after having done that, is that what I need is in-room shots. I need to show people how they're going to live with it. I'm interested in selling things to people that they love living with. And my work, the tables can be inside or outside, so they can be outside, which is great in California.
Yeah.
So I'm working on pricing. I'm working on the website. Hopefully is only a couple weeks from being up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can do Facebook ads. Because I know I have to do very, very targeted Facebook ads.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's so much to unpack in there. A couple of different things. I'll just sort of tackle them one at a time. One, I'm worried for you, and the reason I'm worried for you is I never like burning the boat of the steady income paycheck and then saying I'm going to be completely reliant on the art business when the art business hasn't even gotten a foothold or even made any significant sales just yet.
No, I understand, which is one of the reasons I'm taking the digital marketing course, because this will allow me to get jobs, if not part-time, then full-time. I mean, it's not like I'm not talking to recruiters and stuff.
Okay, good. Okay, so honestly, so as long as that's there, yeah.
I had a severance package from the last company, and it's done now, but it allowed me to regroup.
Yes, understood.
And I also didn't tell you that last June, my husband passed away after a long illness.
I'm sorry.
So I'm investing in me now.
I got it. Here's what I would say. And knowing your niche like you do, jumping into cold Facebook ads, and this isn't a knock on the teacher, is an absolute recipe for disaster and will not work for you out of the gates. It just doesn't. I use this analogy all the time, and it's many people on the call have already heard me say it. If you are going to try and monetize, especially with your product, where not a ton of repeat business, a high-end purchase, usually a one-off purchase, the odds.
Well, that's why I'm focusing on interior designers, because if I get a couple of interior designers that like my work, that's the best way in, because I'm going to get repeat business. I'm a sales and marketing professional.
I don't believe it's the best way in. I don't believe it's the best way in the slightest. It's so hard.
Really?
It's so hard to collectively get interior designers. Like I have 5 people a week tell me that I just want to target interior designers. And if I ran the 5 whys, it would very quickly get to the point where, why do you want to target interior designers? To which Carolyn says, well, if I can just get my art in front of the interior designers, they'll turn into repeat business. How do you know they're going to turn into repeat business? Do you know someone that's pulled that off? Well, no, but everyone tells me it's a conventional wisdom. Carolyn, that's not the conventional wisdom. It's never going to be the conventional wisdom. It's not going to work. Everything that we do in marketing is a question of ROI, return on investment. And there are, you can market here, you can market there, you can market wherever you like. The question is it going to provide more income for your business than doing it somewhere else, which has a higher possibility? That's number one. Number two, your question, not your question, but your thought of going after the interior designers is no different than I'm only marketing to high net worth buyers and individuals because they're the ones that are going to buy my work. Both of them are folly. And I'll tell you why, because there's higher ROI. You want to target high net worth individuals? Work on your marketing collectively, okay? My followers, your followers, soon to be followers, Brian's soon to be followers, fall into a bell curve, okay? Down here on this bottom part of the bell curve are the lower income people. They do not have the money to buy your art. They will like, comment, share, tell their friends. They're still amazing human beings. Then the bell curve goes up. lower middle class, upper middle class, and then over here is the high-end net worth buyers. You're saying, I'm going to focus all of my energy over here on these high net worth buyers, and I'm even going to leverage Facebook ads to do it. I'm telling you, that is not the highest ROI to get these folks. The highest ROI to get these folks is to zoom out and say, everyone's going to be on a bell curve, mine, yours, everywhere else. So I'm just going to work on having more people come to my website, more people know about me, collective marketing. And the entire bell curve just goes up like this because you have more people coming in. And you know what ends up happening? Do you know how you think you get the high net worth buyers? By not targeting them. Just by virtue of the fact that every single solitary business that exists in the United States today and elsewhere, aside from the 99-cent stores, all wants the high net worth buyers mostly, means it's going to be very difficult to do that. Not going to be easy for you to do. Not something you're going to crack on the first time. Not something you should even waste your time doing. You have to focus on doing your marketing. Doing your marketing is like doing 100 push-ups in one sitting. Very hard to do until you've trained. What is doing the 100 push-ups? You need to be capturing emails. Yes, your art needs to be on a website. You need to be emailing the emails regularly. You need to be posting on the socials. You need to be having live art shows on the socials, and you need to be orchestrating sales. And there's a ton of mechanics to operating a sale. You have to know how to announce the sale, how to tease the sale, how to extend the sale. What about the discount? What about the scarcity? How long it ends? All the nuts and bolts, how to dovetail the Facebook, the Instagram messages with exactly what your sale language is. All of that is a process, and that takes time. At the end of that process, when you can do 100 push-ups, you're ready to even have a discussion about targeting on Facebook. Until then, take that Facebook money, put it in a jar on top of that table behind you, because I don't want you lighting it on fire, okay? You are not going to go, not you, not anyone else, okay? I can't stand when people say it is snake oil, okay? To think I've spent millions of dollars on Facebook ads, okay? Millions of dollars on Facebook ads. If you do not have the marketing muscles in place before you go into any attempts at cold targeting on Facebook, you might as well go into the 7-Eleven and buy a lotto ticket, because you are not going to see an ROI on that. And then the final analogy that I give, and it's so important, and it's not a knock on your course guy, okay? I just been doing this for a long time. You do not make money on paid traffic unless you have the marketing capabilities to earn revenue off of it no matter what, and until you have the marketing capabilities and knowing you're going to be doing it for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 years, okay? Because sometimes you're going to bring a customer in at a loss year 1, a lead, not a customer, an email address, and they're not going to buy till year 5. And so if you're not in a position to be able to stretch your horizon and market that entire time, you will never make it. The analogy I give is, I'm in a boat, Carolyn's in a boat. Same boat, same captain. We're both leaving San Francisco Harbor. We're going to steam offshore to go fishing, okay? On your boat, you just have Facebook ads. That's your one line in the water. And you steam out to that ocean and you throw your Facebook ads in the water, and guess what? The ocean's a big place. Sometimes the fish aren't right underneath the boat. Sometimes they're over here. Sometimes they're 3,000 feet down. I steam out too, and instead of my one line in the water Facebook ads, I have harpoons, I have lobster pots, I have nets, I have kites. And what are those? Regular email marketing, having my sales, posting on the socials regularly, doing consistent marketing all year long. I stand a much better chance at catching fish, Carolyn, than you do. And so when you put all of your eggs just in that one targeting basket and think that's going to work out for you, it is the odds of success, no matter who you have running your Facebook ads or teaching you targeting, are very, very low. They're very, very low. And so I caution you on that. I have seen no one, maybe a fluke here or there, jump into Facebook cold ads and thinking that's going to work without having the marketing muscles in place. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no, I understand about that. Yeah.
Okay. I know that was got me fired up on that, but I get fired up on that because I don't want you to waste your money.
No, but I understand, because if you don't have, people have to see you over and over and over again before they're comfortable enough to.
Yes.
And since we're not doing, 4 years ago, I was getting ready to do the local juried art fairs.
Yes.
And stuff. I was getting encouraged. I knew people who ran them. They saw my work. They said, Caroline, you've got to be in this. You'll get juried in, et cetera, et cetera. And then my husband got ill, and some other things happened. So
and all those shows are shut down too. we are mega
none
pro.
of that's happening now.
Yeah.
They're doing it virtually, and that's not that. I don't get it.
Yeah, not going to work. I have no doubt, especially given your background, that you would do extremely well building this business, but it's going to take you 3 to 5 years. You're going to have to do consistent marketing to get it done. And if you can commit to that and you're willing to do that, I'm fired up for you. I do think once the offline shows and fairs come back in, those will be extremely helpful for you too, especially in terms of lead generation. We're very pro in-person shows when they were going, because I mean, you can go and get 150 emails over a weekend or 200 emails over a weekend. That's not the easiest thing to do digitally for some people. So that's what I would say, big picture.
Understood, but that's not where we're at.
Yeah.
Doing the best.
For sure.
Do where we are now.
Yeah. And I would also say, like, you found out about us somehow. That the podcast, especially if you go all the way back to the beginning, will have a ton of like good tactical information that you can put into place completely free, and some things to think about as you continue to grow it. And it's called the Art Marketing Podcast. April, will you make sure it goes in the show notes, and I'll send you a link after the fact.
Thank you. Because I know that your focus is on photographers and painters, 2D work. Because I know you help with the reproduction and the the back end of fulfillment and everything, which makes sense. I've got to do my own. Like, I'm looking at doing custom table bases. I'm looking at getting water jet cutting of some of the table designs, so that it doesn't have to be hand cut. But again, all that takes time and effort. And that's one of the reasons I'm taking this marketing course, because I have a background in the medical device industry, and I may have to, I'm trying to figure out how I can do some of that part-time. So rather than
I love that. I love that strategy. That's totally the way to roll. Cause we even have guys like, some customers that are at like the $60,000 or $70,000 or $80,000 a year mark. And they're like, I think I'm going to quit my job. And I'm like, no, don't quit the job. You can pour all of this money back into your business and work for a couple more years. And then when you're ready to leave, you have something that's well into the six figures. Right. And really rocking. So it's just
it's trying to, I'm just trying to craft a way that I can spend only half time, 20 hours a week doing that kind of work, so that I have enough time and energy to really focus on the art, because it was barely working before, when I was working full time, taking classes, to improve I was developing my skills, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So because I didn't do, I'm a classically trained fine artist, but I didn't start doing glass until 2013.
Right.
And I had no idea that that this stuff existed.
I know.
Fortunately, Bullseye Glass has a resource center here in the Bay Area, 35 minutes from me. And there we are. That found that. And they're a manufacturer of the world's top art glass.
Awesome.
And
yeah. Well, I think you got it, Carolyn. I'm voting for you, especially with the marketing background. But you gotta give that time. You gotta give that business the time it's going to take to grow. But we'll send you an email after the fact too with the podcast that'll help. Okay, I'm going to go back into the chat, because it looks like the hands are not down. And Jennifer, you were mentioning something about Flowdesk. I'm not exactly sure what Flowdesk is. You can use whatever you like at the end of the day for your emails. But we do, as April was telling you in the chat, we do integrate with MailChimp, just because it's really robust and it works. But that's not a deal breaker one way or the other. Susie's asking, what is the best way to capture images of original paintings that translate for the most versatile usage for canvas and merch? Do we need large format scans? We have a mega in-depth article that one of our members wrote, who, his entire career was just photographing art for reproduction. So I'm going to send that to you, Susie. It'll be in the email we send you after the fact, and April put it in the chat for you too. The long and the short of it is, yes, like, the scans are awesome. Amazing. That would probably be the best way to do it. But we have quite a few customers that just get the art photographed in their studio with a digital SLR, and they're able to reproduce great sizes as well. So the article will kind of explain more in depth about all of that and what that looks like. Tried to do business with a home advisor for painting houses, and they thought I was a painter, no professional artist. I'm not sure I understand what you're getting on there, Ruben. Jennifer is asking, does a $2,800 option include the fully managed service? And I'm assuming you're saying the fully managed service where you don't do anything. They do 100% of the web updates for you. I'm not sure, Jennifer, but when you request a demo, they'll tell you that in detail, what that looks like. She's making mention we have a fully managed service where you don't have to touch the website ever. They just do all of it for you. So that's what she's asking. Yeah, Ruben, I get that you're like a print shop. I don't totally understand the questions. Jennifer's also asking, can Asf integrate from my Shopify website? No, we don't integrate with Shopify. There's a whole bunch of different reasons for that, but you know, we do have some customers that keep their whatever website on whatever third-party platform that they're on, and you know, just use our marketing services. But most everybody that does that ends up moving their main site over. But you can also do a bolt-on too, which is like, you know, you have your main site at patrickphotography.com, and you can move, you know, art storefronts to a subdomain, meaning store.patrickphotography.com. You can absolutely do that too. That's an option. So, okay. Chad is saying you haven't built your site yet. Yep, Chad, you got to get going on that. It's important. You got to get the site up. We have great support for that. Can your daughter and you do this together? She's asking. Yes. Are your service itemized, or is it a flat fee? There's 3 different packages, Jude. Again, you can request a demo and they can let you know on that. And I should also let everyone know too that we had a sale running for Valentine's Day that was set to expire because the weather has just been such a disaster and people haven't been able to get back to anybody. We've extended that sale. So if and when, you know, if you feel like it's a fit and you want more information, you can request the demo. And all the crazy sale pricing that we have going on will stay in place. So that's still holding true. And again, the weather really messed us up a little bit. But that looks like it on questions. Anybody else while we're still going there? I can see there's a bunch of you on. If anybody wants to get a last minute question in before we wrap things up, I'd be happy to answer. You can just do the digital hand raise, or you can throw it in the chat and I'll answer it. But yeah, fascinating time. You know, one of the really fun things that we're doing, and I say it's an art business university and it's all about teaching marketing, you know, all year long, is we realize that, like, yeah, we're good at marketing. We've been doing that a long time, but we don't know every single solitary thing, right? So one of the things that has been really popular that we've just sort of shipped recently is we're empowering our teachers now, or not our teachers, our customers, to start teaching classes. Like, we have one guy that is the master of getting his art into banks. I don't know how he's done it, but he's in like 15 banks throughout the Southwest. And so he's teaching classes on how to sell commercial installations. And we have another gal that is a licensing expert. She just figured out how to get her artwork licensed, went through that entire process, was very, very good at it. And so she's teaching a class on that. We have one gal who's an accountant, and she just wanted to do accountant for artists and photographers and these types of businesses, how to do with the tax and the sales tax and all the rest. So we're having those classes now. So we're really, in terms of like an educational offering, we're really just exploding in what we're offering and what we're teaching, which has been pretty exciting. It's been really exciting. Yes, Raymond, you can upgrade or downgrade or put the thing on pause at any point in time. Your rep will explain that to you. But yeah, we're mega flexible in terms of that. Jennifer's asking me if all the links in the chat will be emailed after the fact. Yep, they sure are. We'll send it. It usually goes like 30 minutes or so after this thing's done. We'll get them all on a page for you, and there'll be a replay of this video too, so if you can go back to anything you might have missed or whatever the case may be. Yeah, Carolyn. So I don't know, probably like 5% of the company. 10% of the company's in Austin. I'm in Southern California. I've got other guys in the marketing team that are in Chicago, that are in Serbia, that are in the Philippines. We're mega international at this juncture. I think we have people on just about every continent. Pretty sure we do, actually. Definitely North America, definitely South America, definitely Europe, definitely Asia. I think we even definitely Africa too. We're pretty diversified at this juncture, which is awesome. It was awesome, except all the people that talk on the phone lived in Austin. And so that was a real big problem last week. Like everything else, like support, marketing was totally fine. But yeah, so that's how that went. Somebody's asking me, the difference between ArtSpan. You know, ArtSpan is a website that has some of the features that I think we do, some of the, the minimal features, and then they have a marketplace, but I don't think they solve in the slightest the education piece. Maybe they have like a guide or two or a PDF that you can watch, but we have a full-blown university that teaches you in Zoom sessions like this, week in, week out, for your entire life, how to market. So it's pretty staggering difference. yeah, Tony, just sign up for a demo. April's putting the links in the chat. We can send them to you. Yeah, Carolyn, Thazo is, they've been around for a long time, and I know they have a website solution. I'm not sure what else they have. I don't really think. I mean, it's going to sound egotistical, but I don't really think we have any direct competitors in terms of what we offer. There's definitely cheaper competitors, but your biggest problem, everyone's biggest problem, again, is the marketing, and there's no one that even comes close to what we offer there. I think Thazo, I think Artspan has like a couple of our features, nowhere near the entire suite of features. But especially the marketing, the marketing is just, that's it. It's the whole problem. That's every single solitary person's problem. It's not the website. It's not the website in the slightest. So, okay. All right, guys, I think that covers it. Thank you very much for spending a Monday with me. That was a lot of fun. Again, we will send you a follow-up email in just a minute with all the resources, all the bells, all the whistles, as well as a link to this session. Like my advice to Carolyn, highly recommend you guys check out the podcast. You could subscribe on YouTube, is a good way to go about it too. But we do put out some free shows that are really, really good, that are really, really focused on how to grow your business. Completely free content that you can put into practice that very few people do. So highly recommend you check those out. And you can join us again in one of these sessions in the future. And some of you, I'm sure, will sign up, and I'll see you guys on the inside too. And thank you. Thanks very much for spending some time today, and hope to see you guys again. Bye now.